What's good? If you have knee pain or maybe something just flared up and you don't know what it is, and you're thinking of going to the doctor or the physical therapist or getting a massage, and you want to fix it really quick, there's some really basic and simple ways to fix it. Just a couple of things in your lifestyle we can look at. I know that I have friends and training partners and clients that they'll have an issue and they don't really do anything about it. And again, when the fix is so simple, it is kind of frustrating. So I want to give you a couple of guidelines to kind of walk through and look at a couple of things that really could be causing your issue that are very simple and also will save you time and money for sure. So who the F am I? Why should you listen to me anyway? Well, I've been training people and helping them rehab from injuries for over 20 years. I've worked in corporate wellness and done seminars and workshops in companies like Magic Leap, Envision Health, Active Wellness, Hunter College, Crunch Gyms, and also Motorola Solutions. But not only that, and probably even more important, I have had my ACL reconstructed, my meniscus repaired. I've also shattered my tibia and fibula and had to do rehab on my left leg completely 2 different times after back surgery. And I've helped a number of people get over it. So what I'm saying is I'm someone that's been through these issues and had to look and diagnose and essentially become a detective on why is this hurting, what is it connected to, and what can I do today to stop that. So let's go ahead and figure out how we can fix knee pain fast. So I want this to serve as a general guideline. First, we're going to look at everything you're doing in your life that might affect your knee, because the honest thing is that it's cumulative and it might be a number of things you've never even considered, even your lifestyle. So for instance, could be how are you sitting at work? How are you sleeping? Do you walk a certain way? How is your gait? So these are basic things that aren't even exercise related that I found with myself and I found with other people that are really causing their knee pain. Even myself, I was making some tutorials and I was noticing the way I was stretching wasn't very symmetrical, and that's why I was experiencing a hip issue. So just by looking at that little thing, actually fixed my hip that's been bothering me on and off for many years. I've been able, with all the injuries I have, to still participate and be very active, especially in martial arts and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which I never thought I could do. I want to say that again. I never thought I could do these things without working around these injuries. So my ability to do these is not just based on science and experience, but for me, I'm my own success story in that I'm able to do that. So let me share these things with you. To start off, you really have to be a detective and look at everything, all of your actions or lack of actions that accumulate towards what could be causing issues with your knee. So just in general, your whole lifestyle. Are you sitting funny at work or sleeping weird, or how are you driving? When you walk, do you always carry a bag on the same side of your body? So if you're doing this perpetually for the course of 10 years, your knees are going to essentially compensate your whole body, but your knee is going to be one of the things that suffers. How are you working out? Is it very balanced? Does all you do is there running? So cumulatively, are you working out maybe the front side or the quadricep dominant aspect of your workouts, which is something I'll get into in other videos? Did you move last week? Did you work out funny? Did you squat super heavy? Did you try something that you hadn't ever done before? These things are cumulative, so you want to look at all of them. Even myself, I didn't realize that when I was stretching, I was very asymmetrical and my hip had been bothering me on and off for about a year. And I realized all I had to do was turn my foot in one of my diagnostic stretches and my hip cracked, and all of a sudden it was like 10 times better, and I stopped pulling my groin muscle. So when you start becoming a detective, you realize, oh yeah, I was sleeping like this for 10 years and turning my leg out. Or I do carry my computer bag on one side and I'm compensating. Or when I sit at work, I always sit a certain way. Or there's a number of other things. Or even if no matter what you do, if you're doing something asymmetrical at some point, your body's compensatory aspects are going to cause an imbalance and pain. So really, start to be a detective is my first piece of advice. Second thing, and this goes triple for people who run, how old are your shoes? You may not know this, but after 250 hours of work, shoes will lose 66, yes, 2/3 of their elasticity, essentially their shock absorption. So what I would suggest you do when you get a new pair of shoes and you know you're a runner or something that's going to cause some kind of traumatic jumping or landing aspect, running, plyos, things like that, is writing the date when you got the shoes. Then what you can do is you can kind of guess, okay, if I jog 2 hours a week, this many weeks, this was a year ago, this is how many hours. So when those shoes get to about 250 hours, of work, or even if you're just walking around in them, those are not the shoes you should be running in, or if you're doing a lot of jumping in at all. So look at your shoes. How good are they? If they have 250 hours on them, get rid of them if they're your hardcore workout shoes, for running especially. Also, how flexible are you and how balanced are you? Do you have really tight hip flexor that brings you forward? Do you put more of your weight in your right than your left? Are your hips hiking in a certain way? Are you tight here and you stand like this? Is your right leg tighter than your left? So definitely stretch, obviously, but what you're going to want to do is get yourself a good diagnostic stretch program, which is going to be my second video here, and figure out what side you're tighter on. That's going to help you to figure out where you need to stretch more, where you need to strengthen and create more stability, and also where you're going to need to foam roll to, which is another video we're going to get into. Another thing that's going to be very important, in addition to flexibility imbalances, which can be caused by a number of things, including muscle adhesions or muscular imbalances, right? So the primary one, something that is very important to look at, and most of us are, is quadricep dominant instead of hamstring dominant. Those are a lot of the causes for ACL injuries, so you want to make sure, is your hamstring strengthening program equal approximately to how much you use your quadriceps? Are you only doing squats? Are you doing stiff leg deadlifts or as many leg curls as you are doing for leg extensions? Really, there's a bunch of do's and don'ts for these kind of issues, which I'm also going to do a follow-up video on, things you should do to strengthen your knee and things you shouldn't do to prevent causing knee pain. So you can see there's a number of things to look at. We're going to have other videos that are going to the granular aspects of these, the foam rolling, the actual diagnostic stretching, and the actual strengthening aspects to dissolve those muscular imbalances. If you don't like what I did, or you have questions about what I did, or I didn't answer your question, or you just want me to shut the F up, email me here with questions, comments. Don't forget to smash that bell and subscribe and make My Wellness Dojo your wellness dojo. Look out for that next series on diagnostic stretching and things everyone with a spine should know. I'm Ross, aka Drew Jackman. Have a good night.